Operation Black Vote Canada aims to increase the representation of Black Canadians in politics, the civil service, agencies, boards, and commissions at all levels in Canada. We're joined by Chair Velma Morgan. Velma, we've just had a provincial election just about a month ago. Was there any change in Black representation after last month's results?
No, there weren't any changes in terms of the numbers, but there are changes in terms of where people were seated. So, for the very first time, Ontario Conservatives elected Black MPPs. There are three on the party side, that party side. But also, this is also the first time that we have representation across the aisle on all three major parties, which is something that we're happy to see.
You see this as a big win, a small win, medium win? What does it look like?
It is a medium win. We would love to have seen more Black Ontarians elected to office. Basically, we have six, the same amount that we went into the election with. We had around 30 run this time around, which was a good number. It was an increase in numbers from the previous provincial election. Disappointed that we didn't have more elected, but happy that now we do have representation on the government side and in all three parties.
We have another election coming up in October, municipal elections across Ontario. And this should be really the big push, I would think, for your organization at the grassroots level, getting people to put their names forward. How has that been going?
Yeah, it's definitely a big push for us. We actually started a couple of months ago. We started in February, where we had an information session with current elected city councils from across Ontario, just for our people who are interested in running to find out what it is like to be an elected official. We also had the city clerk come and talk about all the paperwork and the different, legal things that you have to do in running in the municipal level. Now we are going to be having two boot camps at the end of July for candidates and for their volunteers to come and learn more about running a municipal election campaign.
I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this to you before. We have, I think it's 126 elected politicians in Niagara. Not a single one of those elected politicians is Black. Have any
Yes.
put their name forward yet in Niagara that you know of?
Not that I know of, but I do know I've talked to several organizations in Niagara who are encouraging racialized people to run, in particular women. So hopefully we see a couple of those people who are in those sessions run in Niagara, because I think it's important to have representation from the Black community across all municipalities across the province.
We're aware of an organization called Future Black Female. We haven't had anybody on the program yet, but do you work with some of these groups that help, I guess, work with younger people, not really of political candidate age yet, but as potential people that you could mold into future candidates?
Yes, we do. We have a youth chair, and he engages with different organizations. We have a youth summit every year where we bring in youth from middle school all the way through to university to engage them in the political process, and for them to also understand that there's so many ways to get involved other than actually being a candidate. And it's a good way to get your community hours in, but it's also a good way to make connections and find out more about our civic engagement process.
Velma, I guess getting young people involved at the grassroots level, things like knocking on doors for candidates who do support initiatives important to the Black community, that's a great place to start.
Oh, definitely. I think it is important for young people to understand how a campaign is run. I could tell you, I was involved in politics at the age of 15, and that's what I did. I door knocked and I folded brochures, and I worked my way up. I had no idea these types of job existed before I got involved in politics. And that's one reason why we have Operation Black Vote. That's one reason why we have our youth wing, to give them an idea of the different types of jobs and how government works.
You have your 1834 fellowship. Can you explain what that is?
Yes, so our 1834 fellowship is a public policy fellowship for Black youth, 18 to 25. We're in our third cohort, and it goes for 9 months. And each month they get a different session on creating public policy from the start to the finish in terms of stakeholder relations, communications, and how to lobby the government. And our third cohort comes from 6 provinces. This year we have 22, and they will be in Toronto the week of July 14th to 17th, where they will get hands-on experience with creating public policy.
Back to the election, do you set goals as far as numbers of candidates or numbers of elected officials at this point?
We don't set goals, but we are encouraged that since we started or rebranded ourselves in 2017, we've seen an increase in the number of Black Canadians who are putting their name on a ballot, Black Canadians who are volunteering on campaigns, and we like to take some credit for that. So, while we don't set specific targets, we are seeing that there has been an increase.